Hello, hello, hello. It is me. It is Saturday. I'm actually on time for my scrap busting video. At least I'm on the right day. Depending on what StreamYard and YouTube both decide to do today will determine whether or not this even goes up today. But yeah, my Roxy creation challenge yesterday, StreamYard was having issues downloading it. Like it kept giving me network error. Yeah, it was it took me all day to finally get it to finally upload from StreamYard onto my computer, or download from StreamYard onto my computer so that I could then upload it to YouTube. It was a mess. That's why that video was as late as it was. Now I was saying the other day that about Melina, and she hadn't posted a video yet, and I was like, oh, hope there's going to be a video. Well, she did finally post a video, and it was a video saying, I'm out of ideas. So she really didn't have a Scrapbuster and Scrapbusters this week. Because, like she said, she's out of ideas. She feels like, oh, sorry, stretching. I'm reaching for glue pages. She feels like she's done it all, so she's out of ideas. She has asked us viewers for ideas. I'm gonna save this page because it's blank on the back. That one too, I can use that to back stuff with rather than using it as a glue page. But any other ones? So all I'm going to do for Melina's challenge this week is I'm just going to decorate a page using scraps. Nothing fancy. I've got all of these scraps. There are various widths. These came straight out of my scrap pile. The only thing I did was I trimmed them to be the height of the page. So some of these are all going to be they're mostly the same sizes, but it is what it is. And a lot of it is scraps from journals that I've done recently. I did wake up sick this morning, much to my displeasure. So if I didn't have enough going on to deal with, I get to be sick on top of it. Got cold medicine on board. Got tea with honey and lemon. You might be able to see. We got a lemon wedge soaking, floating down there. And as you could see, I'm almost out. Cough drops on board. Yeah, it just miserable morning. Yeah, I woke up with a sore throat. Sore throat, stuffy nose, cough. My head feels like a hot air balloon that could explode at any moment. So this piece I didn't have to trim. It was actually too short, but I'm going to leave it as it is because I'm really okay with that. Sneezing, itchy nose. Yeah, that works. And then I'm left here yet again going, I never leave the house. How am I sick yet again? And then I get reminded my husband leaves the house every single day. He's got the immune system of a rock star, so he's bringing stuff home to me, and then I'm just getting it. Is the only thing that makes sense. I'm like second guessing. Am I like on the right creator? Yes, this is holiness. So this is a piece of wallpaper. So I can either put it shiny side down, flat side up. And when I've used that in journals, I make that decision, as well. It's like, do I want the shiny part of the wallpaper visible? A big old clump of my hair. And just to reduce bulk, I'm not overlapping either. I'm putting them straight, just right up against the edges. You could do this in a journal just to decorate a page and have something that, different, something that's not just a plain white, a plain white page. What's Pam called it? Breaking the page, breaking something like that. Now this is a long strip that is mostly white. I should have done it the other way around because there's actually red lettering on the flip side of that. So I am going to kind of overlap a little bit just to cover up some of that white. I was watching a documentary earlier today on gout. It was kind of interesting to see how it the ways in which it presents in the body, and like the things that it could do, causing long-term problems. It's like, wow, I didn't realize that. But one of the things it was talking about was it creating like calcium deposits around in the joints, and it typically is in the joints of the big toe and in the ankle, of all places. That like messes with your mobility big time, because you need your big toes for stability, and your ankles need to be able to bend in order for you to be able to walk comfortably. I've started to say properly, but to be able to walk comfortably, So I'm just going to write on here, no #M's Scrapbusters. This week. Just so that when I look back at this, I don't go, what? I need to go back and put dates on everything, because I haven't been dating things. I've just been putting like, these little stickers on them to designate what week I'm in. Oh, I need to fix that pocket. But, then if I want to know the date, say 2 years from now, I'm going to have to go back and like look at a calendar. So it just makes more sense to date them as I make them, right? Okay, and I'm going to leave that glue and put it up there. I'm going to put it upside down. So nothing really going for M Scrapbusters this week. So is it just kind of decorating a page? Now for Gail. Pardon me. Sorry, I felt a coughing fit coming on. After she did her Scrappy Saturday last week, which let me grab my book back and I will remind you. So last week she did clusters, and and so people were writing on her video from last week asking, well, okay, great, now what do you do with them? So this week's, unfortunately for me, as somebody who doesn't really do clusters and doesn't enjoy doing clusters or using clusters, as much as I've tried, this week is about clusters and about how to use them. So I went through, I have a box, technically I have like 3 boxes over here on my shelf of unfinished stuff. Like, I sat down one day and I did playing cards. And this is torn book page in the middle or various places around it. And then it's covered with decoupage with white napkin. So it's got some texture on there. This was just a piece of cardstock folded in half to be a double journaling card. I have a whole stack of these petty vouchers, and I backed them to use as, put the hole punch to put them in and make them for journal pockets. Ooh, I might have to. Now that I'm like, ooh, grunge. I was talking to earlier on a live stream that my next journal, I'm delving into my steampunk journal. So I've been grunge dyeing papers for the last couple of days, but I'm like, ooh, pulled these out, and I'm like, yep. I'm like, I'm ready for some dark. I'm ready for some dirty. My last 2 journals have been like super bright and colorful. I'm ready for something different. Little pockets that were made out of brown packaging paper. And then this was a little flippy that I started. I don't even know. This is scrapbook paper. And then I have gesso, and I put some probably ink, maybe paint. I don't remember, just to color it and give it a brown tint rather than white, painted over the top of it. And I glued this on this piece and then the flap. So that way this would go. So this is your book, it'll go around. You can do it this way. So this down, glue this as a pocket, this be a flip. You could do this as a signature page if you chose to. So I just kind of grabbed these out as bases. I don't know what is going on here. I feel very, very discombobulated. I know what I'm discombobulated, but why am I having so much issue with like my space, and my stuff is gluing to itself? And so rather than making more clusters for the purpose of doing this scrap busting activity, I have gotten into my little snippets that I made. I've talked about these before. I've made them and I've like never used them. And then I also have little fabric clusters that these were kind of fun. I did kind of enjoy these, and I think I may spend some time doing some more of these. But this is just getting into all of my fabrics, my laces, and this started you'll notice there's a piece of Levi on each of these. That's what started this. Was my husband had a pair of jeans that he finally blew the seams out of enough that he was ready to throw them away. Thank gosh. And I'm like, no, you're not throwing them away though. I'm taking them. And I just cut them up into little squares, and then I added other fabric. So this is even weave cross stitch fabric, a crocheted doily. This is the ones that I crocheted for my daughter's wedding that I have extras of. The piece of Levi's, a flower petal from a bouquet of flowers that I bought at the dollar store and took apart, and then a button. And you could choose to sew the button on or glue the button on. I actually glued the button on, and then I just put some Fabri-Tac back here on the knot just to secure it, because I didn't really knot it. I just kind of went in, and because I didn't want to add the bulk of the knot on the back, so I just pulled these to the side, put a dab of glue in there, and just let the glue secure the strings. But again, these sit in this box and have completely been forgotten about. So I'm also off camera going to make a book to hold these in. It was an idea presented by Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah, and many creators that I watch have run with the idea for holding clusters. And I'm like, I never did it because, like I said, I'm not a big fan of clusters. So I never saw the need to make the books. But I'm sitting here looking at these two projects and I'm like, I should probably do something different in the storage family so that I actually start using these things. So how do you use your clusters when you make them? Sorry, I had to mute you again. The best case, easiest way, like for Gail's video, she created like 23 pieces of ephemera today in an hour. And that was because she had all of these clusters all pre-made. So she used it to make belly bands. She uses them to decorate pockets, to decorate journaling cards, decorate tags of, like you've got your bases already made, right? And you just need to now decorate them. So that's where the clusters can really come in handy. So like you got the 9 of hearts. Obviously that would be too big, right? Because then you're covering the entire card. So, but then you can look through some of your other stuff. So I've got this, I've got this, I've got these, and I have this. All as options. Trying to look at my laptop, getting things in. So we've already ruled out the card for this. And of course, I have this whole thing full of them. So I just pulled the one off straight off the top. So we've rolled the card out. It could go here, and now your pocket's done. Pocket's decorated, ready to go into a journal. You could do that there. I'm kind of I would want something else behind it if I was to do that. I could back this, trim it, turn this into a tag, and it would be decorated. I think I like it as a pocket. Let's set these aside. Bring my glue page in. So there is ink on there. Oops, I didn't mean to do that quite like that, but I was kind of grunging it up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and use my Fabri-Tac since it's already open and ready. This is a thin paper. I could use the glue stick. But again, you want a glue stick that you're going to trust is going to, last a long time. the top of this paper does have, you can see little holes here. So I just want to make sure that I don't accidentally glue the pocket closed. I do kind of feel like the pocket is too pristine. We're gonna orange that baby up. I do have another one of those pockets, so let's just go for it. See, there's all kinds of different styles. I've got ones with birds on them, some with die cuts, flowers, glitters. Ladies, I think I'm going to go ahead and use this one because this is one that I printed that lady out on my inkjet, and somehow or another it got wet. So, oh, I see. When I was spritzing it with my glitter, the bottle dripped. The only reason I know that because there's gold spots in the middle of them. So yeah, rather than getting a nice little spray of the gold, I ended up with blotches. So I'm gonna use this one because I can put it in the idea book. I probably would not ever actually use it since it's blurred right here, here, and here where the ink dropped. But you can see how it like instantly, creates a finished piece. Almost. For me. I want something else there. Let's see. I'm like, when you know what you're looking for. I'm gonna go with this one. I don't want to go tone on tone too much. I tend to go a little on the matchy side. Even when I try not to, I end up doing it. So I'm just kind of tearing those straight edges. I just want a little something more behind it. Yeah, I'll go that way. I'm going to go ahead and pull my glue stick out. This is one of my pages out of music book. And it is in a foreign language. A little piece was coming off of there. and then you're done. A cute little pocket. All my pieces are separating. Because this is like 4 layers altogether. So that's going to sit off. Let that dry. I'm contemplating this one for my steampunk journal. Because I made it like extra grunge. Extra grunge. I'll put it over there with the rest of my steampunk pile, and we'll see where that develops. Okay, so this is one type of cluster that I have. In fact, while I was looking through my box to find bases, I actually came across some other ones that I made that are a little more dainty and feminine. So this is done on tissue paper, like tracing paper. And then I stamped the background with a light brown on this one anyway. And then just glued elements. So you would tear it in third and third. You know, this one you could do, you know, like this piece here. But there's those. Add those to my other clusters that I don't ever use. No, I'm gonna make something so that they're more in my face and I stop forgetting about them. I really am. Okay, now again, so fabric clusters. Let's see if we can make something to go into my steampunk journal. Some more stuff. I'm going to rule out right off the top anything that's got the red in it, because I know there's no red in any of the stuff that I've printed out, the pockets that I've made, any of the papers that I've dyed. See, if in the book, these would be like already just, you know, already splayed out. Now, the downside to using something like this is the bulk. Originally, I made these that I could use them as pockets. This is just a plain old index card, dyed with different inks, gessoed in certain places, and then stamped. But I could use it. Should be 3x5. Yeah, 3x5. I could decorate it and use it on the cover. Pink is out. Same reason. That's not really bright pink. Does not scream steampunk to me. So I'm just going to kind of go through. That one I don't mind. It's not like a bright red. That's too pink for what I'm thinking. That's too pink. See, this was using up, I mean, just all the flowers, pulling out buttons, you know, and just sewing them together into a... I did enjoy these, but I forgot about them. I'll be honest. So yeah, I think if I get them out, get them where I'm going to be seeing them all the time, I think I'll be using them more often. See, and I don't like the white flower. I'm going to put those away. So I stopped looking at them. Got a couple of them where I really love the button, but I don't like the white flower. Not for this purpose. Keep coming back to this one that's in my hand, though. Probably why I haven't put it down. This will be fun on a playing card, too. Perfect little size. And these are backed. I'm going with that one. Sticking with my original. And I'm thinking I'm going to use this as a pocket on the cover. So I'm just going to back it. But this is too thin and it's not big enough to double. There we go. There we go. Another scrap. It's from a Roxy creation left over from that video yesterday. Still kind of hanging out here on my desk. So it is finding its second purpose in life. Third purpose is third, because originally it was the book, right? And then I used part of it yesterday, and now this. So yeah, it's finding its third purpose in life. And then I'm going to glue this down. Now, I definitely would not trust my glue stick for this part. Because not only has the 3x5 card been inked and whatnot, it's also very lumpy. So I would not trust that my glue stick would hold it completely. Okay. We're going to find my little scraper. Let's get this. Come here. Come here. Come here. It's like I'm talking to my deaf dog. Come here. Come here. I'm always having to like, come on. notifications going off on my phone. Just gonna shove that up in there. Just get a I could sew around these. I am going to be pulling my sewing machine out in just a little bit to make the books to hold these. But I kind of have to make that decision now, because if I go ahead and glue this on now, I can't really sew it. I can't sew the card. Yeah, I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to set it aside and I'm going to sew it. Just do some, give it some decoration around the edges, and then I'm going to glue that on there, and that will go on the cover of my steampunk journal. I like. Set that off to the side. But back to the back to the Scrapbusters. Let's see. It's hers been. So Gail's has been pretty not bulky. I was concerned about putting one of these in the book. So we're just gonna go with the 9 of Hearts, and I am going to pull the ones that have red this time. The red will make that. Don't like that. Don't mind that. But I like that one better. Nope, I'm settling on this one. I like that one. Whoop. Yeah, see, because it's in a box and it's closed and it's over there on a shelf. So it's like multiple levels of out of sight, out of mind. It's over there. It's in a closed box. It's on a shelf that faces away from me. And a shelf that I can, rarely get to, because it's usually, got stuff in front of it. So yeah. I am unfortunately going to be making some scraps while I make these books to hold these clusters, because I want them to be able to fit in my little cubby behind me. And those cubbies are 11 by 11. And scrapbook paper is 12 by 12. So I'm going to cut them down. I'm going to cut an 1.5 inches off of each side. And I'm going to do them 10.5 by 10.5. And that way there's a little bit of room, for sliding in and out. And it'll recess a little bit into the cubby. I'm gonna just snip, and snip. I'm not gonna try to round those. So that could be used, it's bulky. So for people that don't mind having, bulk in their journals, inside their journals, that's fine. But that could be part of a topper on a cover, however the creator chooses. Nice specimen. So, I mean, that for me, that's how I would use a cluster. Decorate a bag, decorate a tag, make a pocket, just any way to embellish a pre-made base. So you grab a completed cluster and add it to it, and then voila, you have a finished piece. So I'm just going to glue these into my book real quick. And I'm going to scoot it over a little away from the edge because, again, it's bulky. It does have the big button there, so I still want to be able to close the book. And then let me grab her week 6 tag out of here. It's still crazy to think that we're finishing up the first 6 weeks of 2024. It's crazy. Today is my father-in-law's birthday. I've already reminded my husband once to call his dad. He's in playing video games. I don't know if he's called him. $210.24. Let me go back and date all of those. The first 6 weeks and 4 books and 4 challenge books. So how to make a cluster was last week. How to use a cluster was this week. And it's funny because I used some of my clusters. Oh, no, I didn't. Never mind. I'm like, interesting. Ladies, and lady. All right. So there is week 6 scrapbusting with Melina. Although she didn't scrap bust this week. I scrap busted this week. And Gail Augustinelli. So the hashtags and the channels will be put in the description box as well as in the title. Please give them a look. They're both really good channels if you're into this kind of crafting. And of course, keep watching mine. So I will talk to you guys next week. Bye. Back to resting for me.